Today, more than 3 years after its adoption, the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration continues to be an essential part of global migration governance. As migration affects all the countries and communities in different and sometimes unpredictable ways, the GCM remains to be the only comprehensive tool and guideline for all stakeholders of migration to follow in order to improve our common response to this complex phenomenon. The GCM expresses our collective commitment, and in order to make it a successful one, we should foster partnerships which enable approach that's migrant inclusive and comprehensive. In response to the call by the President of the General Assembly, the coordinator of the UN Network on Migration, and the principals of the network's executive committee to make a tangible commitment to advancing the implementation of the GCM through a pledge, we, the governments of Azerbaijan, Luxembourg, and Portugal, as champion countries, joined efforts to further promote GCM and take active part in this process. The virtual briefing to mark 100 days to the International Migration Review Forum, a meeting for all 56 member states of the UNEC, as well as various stakeholders from this region, was part of our joint action and efforts. The event brought together 169 representatives from 30 member states and 47 stakeholders, and was crucial to gain momentum on the preparation to the IMRF, which is the first and only intergovernmental platform for UN member states to discuss and share progress on the implementation of all aspects of the GCM, including the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The briefing represented an essential occasion to ensure all parties are duly informed on the process the IMRF entails, and therefore guarantee that we support GCM's a 360-degree approach as per its 23 objectives and 10 guiding principles. Although the meeting was a preparatory nature, which aimed to provide information on road to IMRF, it was also an excellent opportunity to exchange ideas on actions to be taken, results of which can already be discussed during the forum in May. Therefore, I would like to express my appreciation to all those who made valuable contributions through organization, participation, and engagement, and state that together we can and should take concrete action to further harness the potential of migration and ensure that migration is safe, orderly, and regular. Stay safe and hope to see you in New York during IMRF.
The engagement with the private sector has been critically highlighted because the GCM calls for it. The event on the 1st of February was a first step towards collaborative engagement, which is needed at national level. Employers can help devise strategies and craft policies that take into account the labor market skills needs. Recent global trends, such as the increase in skills shortages and the growing anti-immigration sentiment, which leads to increasingly restrictive migration policies, hinder employers' capability to fill vacancies. The GCM framework provides solutions to this end, specifically enhancing efforts on improving regular pathways, Objective 5, fair recruitment, Objective 6, and skills development and recognition, Objective 18. In the GCM process and in the lead-up to the IMRF, we, as the private sector, highlight the positive economic impacts that efficient frameworks conducive to regular migration, responsible recruitment, and skills recognition have on businesses. The International Organization of Employers pledges to publish, based on a global survey of businesses, an employer's position paper on GCM implementation to guide governance in their national strategies in engaging the private sector in the lead to the IMRF.
The first ever IMRF will be held in May 2022 in New York under the auspices of the United Nations General Assembly and will afford states and stakeholders the opportunity to strengthen international cooperation around the Global Compact, evaluate progress and ongoing challenges in its implementation, and come up with recommendations to accelerate the realization of the Compact's 23 objectives and 10 guiding principles, and strengthen safe, orderly and regular migration. It will also be an opportunity to recognize the invaluable contribution of migrants to sustainable development and our societies. The IMRF is a 4-day forum taking place from 17th to 20th of May, which will be preceded by a multi-stakeholder hearing to take place on the 16th of May. The IMRF will consist of 4 roundtable discussions through which the 23 objectives of the Global Compact will be discussed, a policy debate focusing on challenges and emerging issues, and a plenary session in which member states will present their progress in implementing the Global Compact. As a GCM country, Luxembourg is proud to contribute to the implementation of the Global Compact. The event we organized in partnership with the governments of Azerbaijan and Portugal on the 1st of February gave all of us the opportunity to raise important points, including how we can make pledges that will hold us accountable to COVID actions in order to accelerate the implementation of the Global Compact in the months and years to come. Only through successful collaboration between member states and stakeholders at the local, national, regional, and international level can the Global Compact be successfully implemented.
In line with the principles in the Global Compact on Migration, the event that was held in February in preparation for the IMRF offered an inclusive space for civil society, government, and other stakeholders to voice their priorities and concerns. In the spirit of this event, the first IMRF, which will be held in May 2022, also should be an inclusive space for all stakeholders. But to achieve greater inclusion of all stakeholders in the IMRF, we have a collective responsibility to facilitate in-person participation. This should include removing any administrative barriers to participation, providing adequate funding for travel, noting that many countries are still unable to fund travel and accommodation, and also tackling the inequality of access to the COVID-19 vaccinations, which are a necessary travel requirement. As stakeholders, it's crucial that we can convey our inputs according to our priorities in the most effective way. To achieve self-organized and representative participation, non-governmental stakeholders, including migrant communities, should be able to select their own rapporteurs and speaker representatives through an independent process, ensuring an equal representation of all stakeholder categories. And finally, in line with the whole of government and whole of society approach called for by the Global Compact on Migration, member states are strongly advised to include non-governmental stakeholders in their national consultations, recognizing that a multi-stakeholder approach is key to achieving pressing priorities.
The inclusive briefing that took place on 1st February 2022 was an opportunity for member states and stakeholders to consider our commitments as we approach the first ever landmark International Migration Review Forum. We recalled our wish to see more pledges ahead of the IMRF as a concrete way to translate commitment into meaningful action. We have been reminded that pledges can come in different forms, such as joint contributions to the MMPTF or human resource contributions. They can be process-oriented, for instance, having whole of society and whole of government national consultations in advance of the IMRF, or ensuring that national delegations include stakeholders and local authorities. They can also be policy-oriented, building on the 10 guiding principles and 23 objectives of the GCM. As the forum draws nearer, we call on all UN member states to be bold in their outlook. It is important to view the forum not only as a quadrennial event, but as part of a process of multilateral engagement and international cooperation on migration. Preparing for the IMRF will be as important as the meeting itself. The first forum will set the stage and the benchmark for future fora. It is time to make concrete commitments, protect more lives, reduce vulnerabilities, and maximize the undoubted benefits of migration.